Tonight on CTV News at 5.
If this is the cost of rampant, widespread public use of AI, is it worth it?
AI concerns. The questions being raised over whether laws are needed after a major lawsuit was filed against OpenAI.
This is my second home, and I love it.
Celebrating Kora. A longtime volunteer is being recognized for her decades of dedication.
There's something about horses, and even when we go places and we see other horses, we're just as excited.
Horsing around. Why a Nova Scotia family traded in city living for life on the farm.
It's a soggy and foggy night ahead for the Maritimes as a weather front moves in from the west.
Live from the Maritimes News Center, this is CTV News at 5.
Good evening and welcome to CTV News at 5. I'm Stephanie Seacos. Maria Panapellis is off tonight. Thanks for joining us. First at 5 tonight, AI concerns. Some families of the victims of the Tumbler Ridge, BC mass shooting have launched wrongful death lawsuits against OpenAI. Its founder apologized last week for not going to police when staff identified troubling online behavior by the shooter. As CTV's Vanessa Wright reports, it's raising questions around AI and whether laws need to be brought in. Vanessa.
Stephanie, lawyers are hoping for a slam dunk with this lawsuit. They hope it will set a precedent for future cases involving AI platforms so that what happened in BC never happens again. It's been nearly 3 months since 18-year-old Jessie Van Rootselaar gunned down 8 people in Tumbler Ridge, BC, before shooting herself. Some families of the victims now joining efforts in a massive lawsuit against OpenAI, claiming the company failed to warn authorities about the killer's troubling online behavior, even after OpenAI's own staff flagged it.
They brought this to the executives of OpenAI who ignored them, who basically they were saying, we should alert local authorities, in this case, the RCMP, and they were told, at least that's the allegation, that no, we're not going to do that, just move on, there's no issue here.
Families are seeking $1 billion in their wrongful death case against the company and its founder, Sam Altman, rejecting his apology letter in which he vowed to work with government to prevent future incidents. But AI expert David Shipley says that simply doesn't cut it.
Every Canadian deserves to see what was said in those chats. What did this system tell that person to do? Did it actively encourage the harm?
This wouldn't be the first time an AI platform found itself in hot water, and Shipley says with little regulations in place, it won't be the last.
Because they're being treated like they're telephone companies. So telephone companies aren't liable for the conversations that happen between two individuals. That math doesn't make sense. It really doesn't make sense when the other end of the conversation is a tool that has been shaped to be sycophantic, to tell people that every idea they have is great.
Prosecutors have put forth a flurry of charges, one accusing OpenAI of aiding and abetting the killer, a case that could be successful if they prove the company had a responsibility to protect the public.
And I think that's where this lawsuit is going to struggle the most, is demonstrating that there is this obligation on these companies to protect the public from the actions of their users when they learn or have information that would reasonably lead them to believe somebody is about to cause harm.
An indication this is just the beginning of legal battles for AI platforms.
Depending on the success of this lawsuit, it could lead to a flood of other lawsuits against AI companies for all sorts of different things and a lot of finger pointing at these companies.
And criminology professor Michael Boudreau says it's important to remember families are still seeking a sense of closure, unable to prosecute the killer. They want these tech companies to have to answer to these crimes, especially when it could have been prevented. Stephanie.
Thanks, Vanessa. CTV's Vanessa Wright reporting live in our news center this evening. Now it's time to see what's coming up tonight on CTV News at 6 with Todd Battis.
Hi, Stephanie. Thank you. Coming up tonight with the first anniversary of the disappearance of Lily and Jack Sullivan nearing, investigators are asking people to stop sending them speculation and rumors about the case. The siblings were reported missing May 2nd. of last year, of course, from their rural Nova Scotia home in Pictou County. We will hear from the RCMP at 6 o'clock. There are complaints from Halifax businesses tonight about more construction in the downtown core. As you can see there, part of Argyle Street in the Bar District has been torn up to fix something installed less than a decade ago. One small business owner on Argyle is very upset with the work and all the jackhammering that's happening. We will hear from that business tonight. And we have an update this evening to a story we did a few months ago. Musician John McLaren, you may recall, was badly beaten and hospitalized after a performance in Moncton. The New Brunswick man had serious injuries, including a brain bleed. He's back on his feet, doing what he loves. We will hear from the couple tonight in your newscast. Kayla Mitchell, in the Weather Center, we're going to hear about this ugly batch of rain that's headed our way.
Yeah, it's coming in, basically from that direction.
Yeah.
Right in behind me. Out of the west, slow-moving weather front, and it is going to be rain developing west-east. Make our way through this evening and tonight. You can see it approaching communities in western New Brunswick and the southwest of Nova Scotia. Now kind of a slow-moving weather system, so it's going to take its time in filling in across the entirety of the region. We do have some weather alerts in effect, though. First of all, there is one wind warning. This is mostly for tomorrow. It's for basically northern Inverness County in Cape Breton there because the topography of the Cape Breton Highlands. Some of the southeast winds are expected to peak up to around 90 kilometers per hour. Other parts of the Maritimes can expect peak southeast wind gusts from this weather system between 30 and 60 kilometers per hour. The rest of the alerts in effect, special weather statements and warnings, are related to the rain. We have a rainfall warning out for the Acadian Peninsula, as well as around the Bay of Fundy coastline in New Brunswick, and a good portion of the Atlantic coastline of mainland Nova Scotia. Potential for those areas of seeing some rainfall totals that could add up to between 30 and in some cases in excess of 50 millimeters. The other areas highlighted in through the gray, which includes Bathurst, Miramichi, Fredericton, and southwest of New Brunswick, and basically the remainder of eastern Nova Scotia. Those are calling for some rainfall totals of between 20 and 40 millimeters of rain. As that wet weather moves in, there may be some downpours or small thunderstorms basically embedded within it. Temperatures right now are cooler for coastal areas. Away from the coast, though, temperatures are around the low to mid-teens. I'll have more in the forecast when I'm back just a little bit later on. Stephanie.
Thanks, Kaylin. 3 decades goes by fast when you're having fun, especially for a long-standing volunteer at Brunswick Street Mission in Halifax. CTV's Emma Convey stopped by to learn her story and share her love of volunteering.
For more than 30 years, Kora Grant has called Brunswick Street Mission her second home. Whether she's folding clothes, stocking shelves, or greeting clients, volunteering is her passion.
Once upon a time, I was here every day. But I'm down to maybe twice a week now.
As a young girl, Grant's family relied on the mission's services. So for them to now rely on her, it's a full circle moment.
This place supported my mom and our family. So I promised my mom when I got a certain age, I would be given all my time here.
That's exactly what she did, helping out wherever she's needed. As part of the outreach team, Grant sorts clothing donations and keeps the food market looking fresh.
They call her Mama Kora for a reason. She is like the core of a lot of the work that happens here. She knows this place, she knows the people. Oftentimes she's looking for just some extra help just for the people in her own community. 3
years ago, they dedicated a spot in the food bank to her.
Just for treats and snacks and sort of the fun things that can be handed out through our food bank when we have it. And Kora, because she's been here for so long and been part of the community, we wanted to make it a special place honoring her.
And showing that food banks can be more than just the staples.
My own little spot. And I came in one day and they had the picture, Kora's Corner. And I was so excited and happy. I thought, wow, I am a family here.
A family that serves 30 to 40 households a day, 40% of them unhoused. So people like Grant make all the difference.
I'll always be coming here as long as these old legs will let me.
Now with 10 grandchildren at home, she's busy. But this place will always be her second home. Emma Convey, CTV News, Halifax.
Time for our first break this evening. Still ahead tonight, we'll introduce you to the newest member of the family at Sunshine Ranch in Lawrencetown. But coming up next, we have this story.
Hey, it's Emily from Halifax Seed. Coming up next, we'll talk about what you can plant in your garden this weekend.
The Garden Guide is brought to you by Halifax Seed, growing.
It's time for another edition of the Garden Guide. We're here at Halifax Seed with Emily Trigano. Nice to see you again.
Good to see you too.
It's a little chillier than it usually is this time of year.
It's a little crisp still, but there's lots of things we can still do in the garden. So that's what we're going to talk about today.
All right, so what do you have for us?
So first thing you do, you have to amend your soil. So after the winter we had, especially with all the snow, a lot of leaching happened and there's not a lot of nutrients for the roots to uptake in the soil. So amend your beds. I recommend getting some compost, some fertilizers, just add some really good macro and micronutrients to your soil no matter what you're planting. So whether you're planning on planting vegetables or right through to fruit and berries and flowers, absolutely add in some nutrients. So that's step one. Step two, if your ground is workable, plant some edible fruits.
Ooh.
There's so many wonderful things you can plant. All the fruits that we're going to talk about today are all perennial, so they're going to last for years and years as long as you've planted them properly and keep them up.
Oh, it's the gift that keeps on giving.
It absolutely is. And it's so great to go out in the morning and pick a fresh strawberry or raspberry off of the, throw it on your cereal, you know, all the things. It's great.
Are they all pretty similar in how you plant them and grow them?
Everything is a little bit different.
Okay.
So here I have strawberries. So there are 20 individual strawberry plants in this bundle that I have right here. So you're going to plant the roots.
Okay.
Strawberries, you're going to want to make sure you plant in a spot that you don't mind being taken over. Often people will plant strawberries in a container. So they're kind of like mint. They're going to take over. So you want to be cautious of that.
So you said how many plants are here?
There's 20.
20. So how many strawberries could this produce?
You are going to get years and years worth of strawberries.
Wow.
It's going to be amazing.
Thousands of strawberries through the years.
There's also something like rhubarb. Rhubarb grows so well here in Atlantic Canada. And then my absolute favorite, I planted them last year, are the raspberry shortcake and the baby cakes blackberry. It's a dwarf berry shrub. It's growing so well in a raised planter. You can put them in containers on your patio. So if you have a smaller space, these are wonderful.
Excellent. And how much watering do they need? How much care do they need once they're in the ground?
You always want to make sure that there is a moisture content in the soil. You have to figure out how much rain we're getting. If you have a lot of shade, the water is going to retain a little bit more in the soil. If you're up high, it's going to be a little bit windier, so the soil is going to dry out more. So it's one of those things where you want to understand what your own microclimate is like and go from there.
Excellent. It's always awesome to see you, Emily.
We'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week.
How nice to be able to go into your backyard and just get some fruit in the morning.
It'd be fantastic. And just a note on moisture soil content, probably not going to be an issue over the next 24 hours here in the Maritimes as we have some rain that's on its way in. Let's take a look earlier today, though, around the Northwest Trail in Moncton. It was a cloudy sky and chilly at that point in time, but not a bad day to go out for a walk because the rain had obviously not moved in yet. It will be on its way, though, and I'll be talking more about that in the forecast next.
Welcome back. I could not believe this morning, still, it's the final day of April and having to wake up and put a toque on to walk my dog. It's hard to believe.
For sure. It is that time of the year where temperature differences really stand out depending on how close to the coastline you are and whether or not the wind is coming in off of those ocean waters, because it certainly has been over the last 2 days around the Atlantic coastline of Nova Scotia and the Bay of Fundy coastline in New Brunswick, keeping things significantly cooler there compared to areas a little bit more sheltered out of that onshore wind. Speaking of areas a little bit closer towards the coastline, we're looking here at the Cenotaph in Dartmouth, and you can see all that cloud cover there in the background. That, of course, is going to be followed up by the rain that will be developing across the Maritime region as we make our way through tonight and giving us a pretty soggy start to the month of May. On our weather system's map, barometric pressure has fallen since yesterday and will continue to fall as we make our way through tonight into tomorrow. At the approach of this long extended weather front and a couple centers of low pressure located within it, you can see the weather front is stretching right now from Labrador all the way down through parts of Quebec into the northeastern United States, and then part of that front actually swings all the way down towards states such as Georgia. Taking a look at things on radar right now, the rain is slowly progressing into the region. It's already into some of the communities in the west of New Brunswick, raining now at Edmundston, Perth, Andover, and down towards Centerville, and rain at Woodstock, McAdam, St. Stephen, St. John, maybe shortly here, getting into the first of it. And Fredericton, it's not too far away from arriving there either. And some of the rain began to fill into southwestern areas of Nova Scotia, Digby, Yarmouth, and Shelburne counties, and will continue to progress in west to east as we make our way through this evening and tonight. Let's stop by around midnight, and at that point in time, the rain will be on the doorstep of Charlottetown and Prince Edward Island and eastern parts of mainland Nova Scotia. Once again, this is kind of a slow-moving weather system, so the steadier rain won't even be arriving for Cape Breton until Friday morning. But Cape Breton, because you're kind of into the last part of this weather system, or you're last in the region into this weather system, you're also going to be last out of it. So the rain may linger in Cape Breton into Saturday morning, whereas it will have cleared much of the rest of the Maritimes by that point in time. But it is rain, drizzle, and fog for tomorrow, and within the rain, there is a risk of some downpours, maybe some embedded downpours or a few small thunderstorms that's showing up here through the brighter colors. And so the potential of seeing some fairly widespread rainfall amounts for the region between 20 and 40 millimeters, with those areas underneath a special weather statement or underneath a rainfall warning, seeing some locally higher amounts. It could be 50 millimeters or more. Winds in the forecast for tonight and for tomorrow are mostly out of the southeast. Remember, we have that wind warning for northern Inverness County in Cape Breton because of the topography of the Cape Breton Highlands. And then as the system moves through, the wind direction is going to be changing, becoming a north and northwest wind as we head through Friday night and into the start of the weekend. Taking a look at low temperatures in the forecast for tonight around the Maritimes, they're mostly going to be around the mid to high single digits. And then high temperatures in the forecast for Friday in the north of New Brunswick between around 7 and 10 degrees. The remainder of that province with high temperatures mostly between 11 and 14. Around 10 degrees for Charlottetown and Prince Edward Island for tomorrow. And for the province of Nova Scotia, around parts of the coast, high temperatures between 6 and 10, but away from the coast, some high temperatures between 10 and 12 degrees. Let's end on a not so soggy note when it comes to this weather forecast. Let's jump ahead to the start of the weekend on Saturday. So that weather system is clearing off towards the northeast. The rain with it. In behind it will be mostly sunny conditions to a fair weather mix of sun and cloud. And look at the temperatures recovering nicely. A lot of high temperatures on Saturday will be up to around the mid-teens, remaining cooler for a few spots. Some highs in Prince Edward Island as well as Cape Breton in the range of around 9 to 12 degrees. Let's take a look at our weather watcher for tonight. And tonight's weather watcher is coming in from 10-year-old Peyton Rutledge from Little Harbour, Nova Scotia. Peyton has sent us a drawing of a beautiful sunset. Peyton loves creating art to hang on her nanny's fridge. Thank you, Peyton. Great job. And weather watchers can come in anytime to CTV Weather Watchers, P.O. Box 1653, Halifax, Nova Scotia, P3J2Z4, or email kaylin.mitchell@bellmedia.ca. Let's see if we can get some drawings in featuring things that spring rain is good for. Stephanie.
Thanks, Kaylin. CTV and Charm Diamond Centers want to help you charm your mother. With Mother's Day just around the corner, you could win a $2,500 gift card to Charm Diamond Centers to help show mom just how much you care. Whether it's personalized gems, a diamond bracelet, or the perfect pendant to wear close to her heart, every mom deserves some sparkle in her life. To enter, go to ctvatlantic.ca or scan the QR code on your screen right now. We'll announce the winner on Friday, May 8th. Time for one last break this evening. Coming up next, horsing around.
I'm Brian Foley in Lawrencetown at Sunshine Ranch, where the newest member of the ranch joins us. Stay tuned. That's coming up tonight on CTV News at 5.
This next story comes straight from the horse's mouth. A family in East Lawrencetown, Nova Scotia traded in city living for hay barrels. And as CTV's Brian Foley shows us, for them, the farm life is the good life.
Susie Grady and her family bought a farm to care for her older horse. Then they added mini horses, and it's become a lifestyle.
It's a great opportunity for Poppy because she's outside all the time. She's learning to care for another animal. It's just the responsibility, and we enjoy this, and it's just something that brings our family together.
Her 12-year-old daughter Poppy loves the farm life and what it teaches her.
Well, when I first started riding, I was 4 years old, and when we moved here, I'm pretty sure I was 9. I think it's just like being on the horse and having the bond with an animal. It's just really special to have. I feel like looking after them and being responsible for them has taught me a lot in just caring for another life, basically.
Susie says mini horses are therapy for young and old.
We take the minis out for walks, and every time we do, people are stopping us. And then because of that, it kind of gave me the idea that, well, maybe we should invite people up. And that's how we started our first event last October. And from there, it just kind of grew.
When I first seen them, I honestly didn't even know that they existed. And I was just so amazed by them. And then as we got more and more, I just love them even more now. Misty, come on.
They have 11 minis. Milo is the youngest, born 3 weeks ago, an experience that was eye-opening for Poppy.
Well, I've never actually seen it before, like in person. I've seen many videos of it, but it was really cool to watch it actually happen in person.
Mini horses live 35 to 40 years, making them the perfect pet for Susie.
And if anybody knows me, they know it's very odd for me not to have a dog, but these really replace the dogs. You do everything you can with a dog, and they stay outside, and they live a heck of a lot longer.
They also offer Pony Club, where people can learn to groom them and take them for a walk, with even more events coming soon. Brianne Foley, CTV News, East Lawrencetown, Nova Scotia.
I think I want to join the pony club to take them for walks and put little flowers in their hair.
Look at all the little ponies there.
My little pony come to life.
They might be sort of playing around maybe a little bit more inside for tomorrow because of the wet weather that's going to be in place for the region. However, it's not a bad looking start to the weekend, and we'll be talking more about that coming up CTV News at 6.
All right, Kaylee, we will see you then. Thank you so much for watching CTV News at 5. Your national news is coming up next.